Hey everybody, this is Piper here, and welcome to the next episode of the Let's Play Third Age Medieval 2 campaign. So in the last episode, that was the first episode, we started off the campaign, we moved our capital to Mithlond from Rivendell, built up some of the economies in these villages, and we sent down two armies, one to attack the settlement which we captured, and we send down another one to capture Alimir. We've got 3 units here. They're going to reinforce that settlement. And we're going to basically bolster up these areas. I know that Isengard did attack later on in the campaign. It's probably still a bit early for that. We're only on turn number 9. Don't have much coinage. We've only got 260 coins. Taking over that settlement as well. We do have an Orc army that just came over. We'll check out this army, Snaga Skirmishers. They're not the greatest. They can throw javelins. They're missile. Not really a big threat. We do have Elrond in that settlement, and we do have a Sword Quendi. So that's a fairly small Orc army. We're going to have to recruit a couple extra units into Rivendell. We've got a unit of Bow Quendi. They're going to be coming in the next turn. But we need to recruit probably, I'd say, about 3 or 4 at least to support Elrond. Because they're quite close to the Orcs of the Misty Mountains. These guys do attack later on in the campaign. And we might be drawn into a war with the Orcs of the Gundabad. And obviously Isengard will attack some point in the future as well. They've got 2 big towns that are right here. Isengard, the city itself, is actually, I think it's actually right here. And they will come up across the river and they'll start attacking my settlements. We've got our allies in the centre, the Free Peoples of Eriador. I think that's how you pronounce it. There's also the Dwarves up north as well. And we'll probably want to make an alliance with the Sylvan Elves. That's the Elves that stay in Mirkwood Forest. So they're quite handy to have. They're quite good at archery and they have good skirmishers. But right now, we're going to have to get that unit recruited, get a couple more Rivendell, and then hopefully we'll have enough here to defend Imladris or Rivendell. Because this is quite an important city. If Rivendell falls, quite bad news, it's quite a large city. You get a lot of your rent and your income from Imladris. So, say before, we've actually taken over 2 cities there. We'll check out the units, the city stats in the settlement. There's Elves 60%. We're going to repair the wall, and we're going to move out a couple of these troops and keep on pressing the rebel villages, keep on taking over settlements, because the more aggressive you are at the start of these campaigns, the easier it is later on. And obviously, like all Total War games, I play them on very hard. And I think we might actually, I'll take out some troops. Right, there's only 2 troops in Alimir. We've got 3 coming down here. I'm going to push this guy forward. The boundary is right here, looks like. So hopefully there should be a settlement over here. Let's move the guy across. And these settlements are fairly safe. They've only got 1 unit per city. But Isengard's still fairly weak right now. They're not going to attack. We've got our diplomat, let's move him up. So that is a rebel city. And that's a dwarven army. So we're going to talk to the dwarves. Obviously the dwarves reside round about this area. They have a big mining complex. So let's talk to the dwarves. They're actually neutral. And we're high elves, we're going to talk to the dwarves. So their priorities unknown, reputation mixed. Relations amiable, reputation mixed. So their power is actually capable, our power is actually weak. So they're a little bit stronger than us. Their enemies, pretty much the same as our enemies. Orcs of the Misty Mountains, Orcs of the Gundabad, Rune. So Rune is actually one of the eastern factions. They're allied with Mordor. And if you ever watch the first battle in the 3rd Lord of the Rings film, I think it was the epic battle of Minas Tirith. See the big elephants? they're kind of similar to those sort of units. They have the eastern sort of tribal vibe. So we're going to ask for, let's just go for the alliance and the trade rights. I go for map information. They might actually decline that if I ask for that, but get the trade rights at least, make the offer. They'll probably accept that. Extremely pleasing agreement to reach. So they've happily accepted that offer there. So we're now allied with the High Elves. Rather, allied with the Dwarves. They're allies also with Dale as well. So that's going to be good for us. We're going to get a lot more money from this as well. Got the alliance announcement there. Alliance announced, High Elves and Dwarves. These two factions have declared an alliance, improving the strength and security of both their people. So that's good news for us. It means that our northern sector is pretty safe. The Orcs of the Gundabad, that's the main dwarven enemy, they're actually over here. So they're still going to be a bit of a threat to us. They have a settlement over here as well. But as long as we keep Rivendell safe, the high quality strength of the Elves, it means that they can easily block bridges, and Rivendell has like 3 or 4 bridges to get to the main city. So as long as we get about 4 units in that settlement, it should be pretty safe. So there's not really much point keeping our diplomat here. I think what I might do is I might actually move the diplomat over to the Sylvan Elves, the Mirkwood area. I don't really want to have to spend more money getting another diplomat. It's usually about 300 or 400 for diplomat. Don't really have that much money at the moment, so we're going to move him over. So he's going down to that settlement there. The other army coming down here. Okay, I'm going to be... Can I move another unit out? Yeah, because we have 60% culture in the settlement, we only need 1 unit in that city. So we're going to give that army another unit of archers. There's their Boquendi 1 Chev archers. So that's a really powerful force. So like I was saying I'm going to end the turn here. Like I was saying in the previous video, one of the natures of the High Elves campaign is the fact that the High Elves take a long time to build units. The units that you can build, even the standard ones, are very good. They're very high in the stats. They're not too expensive either. But it means that you have to fight a lot of battles with only maybe like 5 or 6 units or even less. So one of the strategies for the High Elves as well, if you play it correctly, it's actually fairly easy to do. You don't want to accept too many generals because generals cost about 500 gold coins per turn. So because this guy's quite young, he's already 2 stars and he's got a high amount of loyalty, I'm going to actually recruit him. But you have to be very selective over your generals who you recruit. If you recruit too many, you won't have enough money per turn. So this general's on horseback. I think he's on horseback. So he's not actually on horseback. I'm going to move him down to this settlement. And as long as you keep 1 unit per city in this area, it should be enough. When these settlements get a bit more population, you can build things like the artist building, and if you just go into it here, there'll be one in Mythlond. So that's the art gallery, so go into that, increase culture bonus by 3%. So Mythlond is actually fairly high in the Elves, we've got 83%, so it won't be actually that beneficial to have it in that settlement. But for example, in this settlement we only get 60%, or Alimir, which is mainly the Northmen. So that's 69% Northmen, 23% Elves. So building the art gallery in the Alimir settlement would be much more beneficial to have, because it would increase our culture in that settlement, which means we can hold less troops in that city, use more for attacking. So we're going to move this army forward, and we're probably at the boundary between our settlement line right there. So I'm assuming there's going to be probably another couple of cities over here. I know there's definitely 2 cities right there. They're both owned by Isengard. But there should be another one over here because there's quite a lot of resources. So that's army's going to move down here. That army's going to move into Alimir. And I'm going to move this young general down here. It's going to take a bit of time for him to get down here. Again, if there was bandits in this area, it's only 1 unit. It could be a bit risky, but I've already came down here with a large army, and there wasn't anything down here. Unless there was something in this area here. There's actually a resource there for sheep. But he should be pretty safe. I've got about 3,000 gold coins from the last turn. Building the paved roads in Imladris or Rivendell. I'm going to definitely try and get some more units here. Stables, art studio. Do we need the art studio? We're already about 86%. Town hall, what can we build? Market. So it's going to take at least 5 turns before the road is built anyway. It's probably better if we get something else built in another settlement. So this settlement here, Horwell, you're in the centre of a lot of passing armies. You've got armies coming from Isengard travelling up to attack the Free Peoples of Eriador. They seem to like attacking the settlement quite a lot as well. So we're going to have to definitely build some more units in that settlement. We can only build them from Imladris right now. That Orc army is actually probably going back up to the Misty Mountains. They've came down to Imladris, seen that the army's too big, and they're going to go away. But they will come back with a larger army. And right there we have our first Eriador army that we can see, and that is called the Breland Militia. Again, like I was saying before, the detail that the modders of this 3rd Age Total War expansion, they've spent so much time, effort, and it's very impressive what they've actually produced. So, good detail, knowledge about the Breland Militia there, good unit, colours and design. So we're going to build more units now. Build some here as well. And Harlan, can we build anything? Yep, we can build some. So we've got about 1,700 gold coins left. Forland's fairly safe. We're going to build the communal farming there thing just to try and increase the population of the settlement. And hopefully that will increase the population. That means we can produce units faster. I think we're going to end the turn right here. That army's going to go over here, and Rivendell is fairly safe. So we're going to have to wait 5 turns before the next archer can be built. 3 turns for the swordsman. We've got 3 units there. They should be pretty safe. I don't really think that Orc army will get reinforced before the next 5 or 6 turns. So that's all we can really do in this turn. So we're going to end it right there. We're at turn number 10. I think we're on pretty good schedule actually. We've taken over a couple of settlements. Got army production, getting the swordsmen, getting the bowmen, creating some armies. We're on the right path here. Again, move this unit down. So that's the boundary right there. And I'm fairly certain there's actually another settlement over here. Let's get this army into... So Alimir is actually 23%. And we're going to build the Town Watch here because it's going to increase public order bonus by 5%. And we can recruit the Sword Quendi. I think we need 33% for the culture. I'm going to build it anyway. See if we can actually build it without the culture. Sometimes you actually can actually build them. And I think we're going to just send those men right down. Once the Town Watch has been built, we'll build a couple of Sword Quendi in Alimir. Check out what's in Erivorn. So we've got dirt roads here. I'm going to definitely build the dirt roads on the next turn for Erenvorn. I think it's really important for the settlement to get the town watch, and I really want to keep on producing the units early on. So right now the settlement is safe. The dirt roads will give it extra denarii, or keep on using denarii. I've played Rome to War too much, extra gold coins. And I think we're going to build the grain exchange while we wait for the dirt roads to get produced on the next turn. So that's going to take 2 turns to get there. What I might do is I might actually siege the settlement and then combine both armies, and that'll save a bit of time. So we've got a couple of units that have been produced. Let's send them down. Can I take out 2 here? Yep, I can take out 2, send both down. And they're still building their Sword Quendi. And they can build actually 4 units, but we don't actually have enough money. Let's check out the retinue. Commander of the troops, +2 command, +2 authority. He's actually a pretty good commander. Glorfindel? I think he was actually one of the elves in the woods in the films. The name is familiar. I've read the Lord of the Rings books a long time ago. Really good books actually. If you like the Lord of the Rings films, definitely read the books as well. The films are basically just a shortened version of the books. Some things have been missed out, but again, it's a really good read if you like Lord of the Rings. So Rivendell's building the roads. Just check out the men. I've got to wait another 2 more turns before I can build the Sword Quendi. And we've got enough troops in the settlement. We could probably 4 is probably too much here, but we're not really the majority. 30% population, Northmen 36%. So again, I think we've done everything. We can't really do much more. We've got 200 gold coins, not really enough to do much, but we're building the paved roads in Imladris. We've got the grain exchange in Vorn. We're going to build the roads next in Erenvorn. Got some units come down here as well. So that's going to be a general for that settlement. So we're going to end the turn there. And I reckon it's probably another 15 turns, 15 or so turns before Isengard starts making an offensive. Again, our main enemy, the Shire has been reached. You have reached the Shire, a peaceful part of Eriador, which is almost exclusively inhabited by hobbits, and largely removed from the goings-on in the rest of Middle-earth. So we get Gandalf there on his cart. We're going to see a fireworks display. So we didn't see any fireworks displays there, but that was a pretty epic cutscene. So that's Middle-earth right here. And that's that Eriador general. It's called Malar. 4-star general, completely loyal, 2 on respect. So again, we're going to move our diplomat over to the Sylvan Elves now. We've made an alliance and trade rights with the dwarves. We're already allied with the Free Peoples of Eriador. And I know the Sylvan Elves are over in this sector. I don't know where Dale is. The dwarves are allied with Dale. I think Dale might be probably further up. I haven't actually travelled that far yet in Middle-earth. And that's our army there. So we're going to move the army forward. Okay, I'm not really too concerned about getting attacked here. I've got enough here to put a good defence. Let's combine... Can we combine these units? So we've got enough men here to at least inflict a large amount of damage on an enemy army and then retreat. Get more units come down here. So that's going to be a fairly large elven army. It's going to be, 9 strong. We've got more units coming down here. And let's move our general into the settlement. So we're going to build dirt roads. I could probably wait for the next turn before to build dirt roads rather. But I might forget to do it, so I'm going to build it now. And then at least it's on the construction queue. And hopefully once the grain exchange has been built, build the dirt roads after that. And then that means that the economy will be a bit better over in this area. So let's get our diplomat. He's already moved the maximum for that turn. So there's that orc army again. Only two, probably just two Snaga skirmishers. They're coming down. And can we build anything? No, we've got to wait for the next turn before we can build the Sword Quendi. We've only got 2 units there and Elrond. We're going to have to maybe get at least like 3 or 4 units here. Because once the Orcs of the Misty Mountains get stronger, they will come down, and their favourite targets are Rivendell, and they don't really attack Horwell so much. They mainly attack Rivendell. Horwell is mainly the target for Isengard and the Orcs of the Gundabad. We've got about 1500 gold coins left. Go to Mithlond. Can't really buy too much more. Okay, vineyard. Usually somewhere near the walls of a town, a traveller may find a sizable vineyard, where men will gather to partake in wholesome acts of leisure. So we can build the spy from this. Be useful to have that. It's going to cost 900 turns. I don't really feel it's the priority in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the town hall in Imladris. I'm going to also build some units in Forlond. Let's go for the Boquendi. Let's just build all of them actually. So I know that the northern area is kind of safe. It's only the dwarves inhabit this area from what I believe. So don't really need anything to defend Forlond. But we're going to use the troops that are built here, send them over, and we can reinforce these areas against any orc attacks. I know there's an orc settlement round about here somewhere, but probably in the turn there, we're going to definitely attack a settlement on the next turn. This army here will get reinforced by these guys, and then we'll take any settlement. The only thing is that when you take settlements in this area, you really have to defend them well because Isengard is a powerful faction. So we're going to end the turn there and let the unit go down. And this is just running through all the other factions they're doing. We've got Mordor, Isengard, Orcs, the Gundabad, Harad, Rune, Mordor is the next one. So like I've seen before, you don't want to accept too many generals. Generals are fairly expensive. I don't think I'm going to accept this guy because he's 31 years old. He's a little bit older than most generals when they get recruited. I probably can't afford him. Building a lot of men, building a lot of buildings. Let's get this guy into the settlement. So they're going to go up to Content. They're building the dirt roads now, and let's move our army over. So did our spy get killed? Yeah, our spy got killed. So I'm not too sure if there's a settlement right there. Let's go over here. So I'm going to combine both these armies. Or maybe it's over here possibly. Or up here. I know there's a settlement somewhere over here because that's where the boundary ends for us. That's our boundary up here as well. Let's move down this guy. So we should have a couple of extra units either getting built or being built. Horlon's got 2 there. Let's send these guys over. I don't really think I've got any missions. I've got a mission here. So it's that mission of increasing Elisteron by 4 units. So 2 turns. So I've got some units here actually. Let's just move these guys in. That'll be 2 turns. Move that one in as well. And that'll be 4 units in Elves. So hopefully we'll get an extra 500 gold coins. That'll be an easy 500 gold coins right there. Again, we're still quite early in the campaign. Nothing too much has happened down here. Isengard is still a little bit weak to attack us, but once Isengard gets stronger, they will come out to attack, and we're going to have to make sure we have enough units in these settlements. Because if you ever watch the Lord of the Rings films, Uruk-hai, I think that's how you pronounce it. They're really powerful. They're really good armor, really good attack. Not quite as good as the Elven warriors, but for the price they're a lot better. So you're going to have to make sure you can use your archers well and get the kills with the arrows. So if you get about 1400 gold coin. I think so. Imladris has 2 units getting built, or 2 buildings in the queue. We've got the orcs of the, I think they're just a regular orc army. I think they're not allied to anyone, they're just orcs. We're going to have to get something extra into Horwell pretty fast, because the city's not doing too well, to be honest. Go for the culture build policy. I think we might actually try and get... I know there could possibly be some orcs in this area. If I move over 1 unit, they might get attacked. But we need to get more units into Horwell. Because if these guys revolt, there's not really enough troops in this area. What I'll do is I'll actually, when these units move into that settlement, look at the 500 gold coins for the mission. And then on the next turn, we're going to move those 4 units into Horwell. Because they need more men to defend against potential attacks from orcs. But there seems to be some sort of issue with the culture in that settlement. So I've swapped it to a culture build policy, which means that... Oh shit, they're actually rioting. It means that they promote policies that increase the elven population. So they're actually revolting. We're going to have to... Okay, I'm going to move a unit of archers into that settlement. Hopefully they don't revolt before the archers get there. So anything I can do to increase the population. Recruitment, the culture build policy. Growth build policy, would that help? So I changed it to growth build policy, that seemed to help a lot. Military build, financial build, balance build. So growth build helped a lot. But we don't get as much income from growth build. So I don't actually need those archers in Horwell anymore. I'm going to move the archers back to Rivendell. That was a bit of a waste actually. So I'd happily accept less money for a happier population in Horwell. Rebel port. So we've actually gone past the settlement. I thought there might have been a settlement there. We are going to attack that settlement with our high elven army. So I actually went past. I don't know how we actually managed to miss that. I think we were just too close to the river. We didn't see that one there. It's going to be the next turn before we attack. But I don't really feel there's too much in this settlement. They've got a unit of spear militia. So they're actually better than peasant militia. Or peasant spearmen. Get peasant axemen. Again, that's a new one. Heavy axemen. The Northlands are well renowned for their fierce axemen. These hardy warriors are armed with deadly two-handed axes and protected by medium armour. They are accustomed to fighting in their rugged native terrain and will do a good job of smashing into enemy lines. So it looks like these guys are more going to be like shock troops, but from the looks of it, they've got chain armour, helmet and a pretty badass sword and shield. So we're probably going to shoot those guys first, make sure they die, and then we'll take out the peasant archers or the peasant spearmen next. So I moved a unit into Alimir, and that actually decreased the happiness of that settlement. I've got the town watch getting built next. Let's move these units over faster. Again, I think we've got one more turn before the mission runs out. So I don't know whether we can use that turn to get into the settlement, but we might have actually run out of time. But we've got 4 units here. Move these guys over, that will defend Alimir, and then we'll take Argond on the next turn. So we came across a settlement right there, that's called Bree. And again, Free Peoples at Ariada, that's the first proper army that I've seen. These guys are lumbermen, attack at 8, defend of 9, or defense of 9 rather. No shield, these guys are pretty good shock troops, fairly cheap as well. Bonus fighting cavalry, so they've got looks like a large axe. Effective against armour, these guys are pretty good. Archer militia, not as good as my archers, but still fairly good. Woodland hunters, they're fairly good for the missile attack there. The Breeland militia. So check out the Breeland militia, they're actually not bad spearmen. Good morale, good stamina. The general is called Araglas. 3-star, 2-star, respect. Fairly well liked, and he's obedient as well. He's only 16 years old, so he's a good general to actually use in battle and progress. He's fairly young. But we're going to move this diplomat over to the Sylvan Elves of Mirkwood Forest, and hopefully make an alliance and some trade rights. Get extra income per turn. So can we build anything else? Horwell, land clearances, what does that do? Improve food production. I think I would rather wait till this settlement actually gets a bit happier before we increase food production. I don't want the settlement to get too big that I can't control it. So we're going to end the turn there. And on this next turn, I should have a couple of units getting produced in Mithlond and Forlond. I've got 4 getting produced in Forlond. Let's combine these guys. Let's attack. So this is a proper castle. It's got wooden walls, so we're going to have to get battering ram, ladders, and let's go for more ladders actually. We've got more archers here, so we're going to probably wait for him to come out to attack. We don't want to waste too many troops. He's got the heavy axemen, which are going to be pretty good, 8 and 10, so they're actually really good, the heavy axemen. So I think we're going to wait this one out actually. And Alimir just built the town watch. Population growth. So let's go for the growth build policy. Very high taxes. Okay, high tax. So I don't mind fighting with like less men, but I hate it when my cities actually revolt. So that was the mission failed, so we lost out on 500 gold coins there. We couldn't really got it anyway, we had to wait for men to come over to go into that settlement. So we couldn't really do much about that there. Let's send that Sword Quendi to join up with Captain Nesimon. Move that army down. Let's check out what's happening in Horwell. So Huarwell, or however you want to pronounce that name, they've got a lot happier. They don't have a general, but they've gone from potentially rioting to being happy again. check out the settlement details. Still 30% in the Elves. I really want this settlement to be higher than 30%, so we're going to have to increase the population and start building things like the artist gallery and things that will increase the culture of the settlement. So Rivendell, we're going to build more archers. As long as we have about 3 or 4 units in the settlement. We've got Elrond rather. He's 53 years old, and his general unit is actually really good. He's a 6-star general, and he can usually hold his own in the battlefield for a long time, but he can't hold it all himself. So as long as we have 3 or 4 units to help him, Rivendell will be safe. And let's go through these settlements. So that's the unit there. Let's move this unit over. And you always get stuck in that bit of water there. Mythlond, stables. I suppose they could build the stables, I guess. Let's build the Boquendi. So we're on turn number 15. I think that's really all we can do at this stage. Both those settlements are happy. We found the next rebel settlement. I know there's an orc settlement around about here somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is. It's probably up there somewhere, possibly. But as long as we keep Alimir safe, there's only so many crossings available in this area. So we're going to end the turn there. I know Isengard do come up to attack. Still probably a bit too soon for that. And that's the end of turn number 15. We've got a new mission here. There are foreigners amongst our very gates, and we know very little of them. The council suggests you send an emissary to the faction and initiate diplomatic relations. Orcs of Gundabad. So where's our diplomat? So yeah, so they're up there. So let's get our diplomat, if we can find him. So we're going to take a small detour. The Orcs of Gundabad have a settlement up here. We're going to talk to these guys, get the 500 gold coins, and then we're going to make a detour through Misty Mountains over into Mirkwood and talk to Sylvan Elves. I wouldn't have probably done that with the Orcs of Gundabad because we're going to definitely go to war with them in the future. They're always fighting the dwarves and the Free Peoples of Eriador. They're our allies, so we usually get dragged into a war with those guys anyway. That's the castle there. The settlement can hold out for another 4 turns. So I thought that said 2 turns before. I think it's probably better if we just attack now. Spear Militia. We might actually lose this. Or we might sustain a lot of damage. The Peasant Axemen are okay. Heavy Axemen, a lot better actually. They're 8 and 10. How many Sword Quendi have we got? We've only got 2 Sword Quendi, but they're full strength. The rest of them are archers. I think we're probably going to attack that, but we're going to make sure we do everything else first. Actually, I've got a Sword Quendi coming in. I might actually wait for him to join up, and then we'll attack. Land clearance. What's the culture of the settlement? So that's 60%. And yeah, Town Watch next. So they can build Sword Quendi from the Town Watch. And let's put our next army into here. So that's the inn. The inn is a respectable establishment that offers accommodation to travellers from abroad or offering a regular drinking hole for the locals. Because of the high number of people that frequent an inn, they make an excellent place to have a private discussion, or even to make contact with figures from the underworld that favour the place for the same desire for an anonymity themselves. So we can create a spy from that. I don't think we actually need a spy in this area. Again, like I was saying, all our allies are in this area. Harland, what can we build? Okay, communal farming in Harland. And that army's coming down here. We'll check out the problem settlement. Can Rivendell build any more men? Not quite yet. So we're going to move the diplomat up to talk to the Orcs of the Grundabad. Got our army attacking this settlement of Argond. The thing about this settlement is it's quite close to Isengard now. And because Isengard hates Rohan and the Free Peoples of Eriador, we normally have to attack those guys as well. So we're going to end the turn there. And I think we're probably going to attack Argond on the next turn. Again, we wasted a bit of time. We actually missed Argond when we actually walked past it at the start. And they're going to take a bit of time to get to the settlement. Right, I think we've sieged the settlement for long enough. These units have lost a couple of men. I think we've probably got enough to win. We're just going to attack now. Again, we don't want to wait too long to take these settlements. So it's actually 3-2 and they're in a castle. So we do have the advantage, but it's not an amazing advantage. We're still going to have to play properly and make sure we don't take too many casualties. Again, like all the cutscenes and the loading screens, you're going to get an epic Lord of the Rings picture, and we've got a cool quote here by the Ride of Earl Unfinished Tales. So that's a quote from Boromir. Don't recognise the name. I have read the Lord of the Rings books. And that's the settlement right there. So we're going to start deployment. And looks like that's the main gate right there. I think we're going to go for that wall there. That'll be the safest one to get. So let's get all our archers. Let's take off these guys into loose formation. And it looks like it's kind of sunset as well. Some of these guys have lamps. So that's going to be, he's going to be part of the missile force. Let's get our infantry. We've only got 3 units of infantry. And we will so we're going to give one of the Sword Quendi siege tower. I was going to give it to the Linden Longspears, but they don't have any armor, or they don't have a shield rather. And I think we're going to move over some of these archers, try and get some siren shots if we can. Obviously the heavy axemen, just look at that, pretty good stats. The armor defeating as well, and he's bringing over a unit of peasant spearmen. So that's the general there, and that's his other unit of heavy axemen. It should still be fairly easy to win this. These guys into loose formation. So I'm going to move the Sword Quendi in there. They have slightly better stats than the heavy axemen, but it's about 1-to-1, and plus there's a unit of hunters there as well. So we're going to have to move over these archers, try and get some shots in. Let's get some shots in there. Let's move forward the other unit of Sword Quendi. So I think 2 units of Sword Quendi and the Linden Longspears should be enough to get in. And try and get some siren shots. It's going to be difficult trying to get those shots in. They're not totally lined up properly. So we're going to get any shots in. Yeah, we got a couple of shots in there. Okay, let's move forward these guys. They're actually on the walls now. Let's move forward the long spears as well. It says victory is a distinct possibility. We're going to move around our archers, try and get some siren shots. We're going to move in the Linden long spears as well. Obviously we're playing on very hard, very hard. We're going to have to watch in case these guys are out. They've been, obviously they're getting attacked on both sides. So let's see if we can actually get some shots in there. Can they actually shoot there? We just need a couple of volleys in. Can they get in? So they're at the right angle. We're going to get a volley in just to get the backs of those heavy axemen. So I don't think we're actually getting too many shots in there. Obviously we don't want to be hitting our own troops. So we got a couple of good kills there against the heavy axemen. Obviously they've got the shield on their back, which isn't really helping our men. Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop shooting. I think we're probably hitting more of our own troops. Let's get the Linden spears to attack these guys. Let's get the sword quindy to attack the axemen. We'll pull in the archers. Once we gain access to the walls, don't really have too much opposition, so as long as we have enough archers to actually get in, those spearmen and axemen will be easily taken out by the archers. So we're going to move everything in. I think the weight of numbers, we're going to try and crush the enemy. So obviously the archers aren't the best in melee combat. The Linden long spears, and they've just broken the hunters. They're destroying the heavy axemen. These archers running in will probably send the heavy axemen over the edge, and they're now actually broken. So they're fighting to the death. We're going to triple speed this. So let's pull down the archers. And let's start attacking the spear militia that just came up. So our archers are actually in the settlement now. These guys have been sent to come down here. So once the archers all get in, they're going to be pretty unstoppable. So our sword quindy are fighting the spear militia, and it's saying that they were actually getting defeated there, but that's because these spear militia, they're full strength and they're fresh. My guys aren't full strength and they're a bit tired. But again, we've still got 5 units of archers. So that's the last of the archers waiting to get in. Looks like he's kind of glitched a little bit. He hasn't been able to find the ladder. Let's move these guys forward. It's going to move the no Eternal Warriors to the right hand side. I'm going to flame that side of the Spear Militia. See if we can get the route. So these guys are right there. And they're going to shoot a volley of flaming arrows versus the side of the Spear Militia. That's been pretty effective. I think we're going to send a unit of the Neutrino Warriors to attack the other side of the Spear Militia. Because the Nocturnal Warriors are actually pretty good. There's the enemy unit there. So I'm being shot by that tower. I don't know why I'm being shot by that tower. Let's move these guys over. I've got archers here as well. Let's move around the archers. Still got the unit of peasant axemen. So I think these guys might have actually glitched. So the spear militia have actually routed. They're being killed on both sides. That's going to be a victory for our side. Let's get our men down here. And let's just move our guys onto the walls now. So this means we can actually get better shots in versus the enemy. Shit, wrong one. One left. Put them on the wall. Just put them over here. We'll triple speed it. And again, got our archers on the walls. Are they going to come out to attack? Yeah, they are, but they're going to get shot to pieces. He wants to attack. So the trick here is if you keep your archers on the wall, keep your infantry down here, and it means that you do get really good shots in versus the enemy. It says here he's on the verge of rout. I'm going to switch to flaming arrows. And then it's just a case of waiting for the enemy to die, capture the settlement, and that'll be a win for our side. He's broken there. Let's keep these guys out of combat. Let's use the archers. Loads of arrows left. And again, that's the battle won. Use all the arrows that we can. So it says here these guys are still running. Same with these guys. That's because he glitched on the ladder. And they're going to get shot to pieces, and that'll be a win for our side. That's another settlement captured for our campaign. One guy left, he's going to get shot, or 2 guys left. So 1 heavy axeman, 1 heavy, or 1 peasant spearman. 1 guy left, heavy axeman, the general's dead. And that's that, a win for our side. So we lost about 110 troops there. Just over 100 troops. We killed a lot more of the enemy. But what's most important is we captured the settlement, which means we haven't had to wait 3 more turns. So we're going to get the income from the settlement for those 3 turns. And it means that some of our units, I think there's actually a barracks, because it's a castle, some of our units will actually get free upkeep for those 3 turns. And it means we can use those units for other things. So sometimes it's important to capture settlements. Sometimes it's better just to wait for the enemy to come out. I'm going to exterminate the populace. I think the population is actually fairly small for the Elves. It's mainly Northmen, 75%. Elves, 15%. But we're going to keep a big force in Argonne. It's a castle. I know that Argonne is a main target for Isengard. And we're going to build the artist studio. It increases the culture bonus by 2%. So though painting and sculpting are anything but new forms of art, there is a resurgence in the development of art throughout the Elven realms. Though the aspiring artists are everywhere to be found, to see some major works produced, the local establishment must invest in an artist studio. Here, artists worthy of noble support have the space and solitude required to realise their aesthetic visions. So we're going to build that. Just to increase the culture in the settlement. We're going to put in the Sword Quendi as well. Can I retrain anyone? I might actually combine some of the units. If I can, that is. So I've combined one of the arch units together to form a better unit. So we build the artist studio in Argonne. We can't really afford to build anything else. Got that unit come down here. They're going to go into Alimir. And just check out that settlement. Horwell. Check out Rivendell. We can't build any more units. We can build the Sword Quendi on the next turn. We need to wait 5 turns for the Bow Quendi. We're building the Town Hall. And that will increase the public order bonus by 5%. Check out the Diplomat. So Diplomat's getting quite close to the Orcs of the Gundabad. I'll just check out if I built anything over here, any units. I don't think I have built anything. We've got one there, that's the Bow Quendi. They've got the defense armor, or the padded armor. Get one here, so I forgot about that unit there. They're going to move down to Estarian. Forlorn, another 2 units there. And let's move those guys around as well. So again, don't really have anything defending these coastal villages. There's like one there, that's the capital. I'll leave one in the capital just in case any orc bands come round nearby. I want to have a shot at the capital. But they're fairly well secured. We've got some large allied armies in these settlements. There was like one, was it there? Garrison of 3. It had a very powerful garrison of about 9 before. So we're fairly safe in the centre. It's really Isengard down south. And any orcs roaming past here, that's the main threat. So one of the key objectives for the High Elves is to defeat the Orcs of the Misty Mountains. And there's a couple of dragons, like a couple of Balrogs in the mountains. And they're really hard to kill, so the plan is try and take some settlements first. build up an economy base, go into the mountains with a large elven army, preferably a lot of archers, try and get some shots on the Balrogs. So we're doing a good job down here, taking that settlement. We're going to build the artist studio, that's going to take 2 turns, and then potentially advance onto Isengard. So we're going to end the turn there. We've got our diplomat going up to the Orcs of the Gundabad. And that's just all the different factions getting played through there. So the plan will be, let's make friends with the Orcs of the Gundabad. We're going to decline that. And then we're going to send the diplomat over to the Sylvan Elves, to the Mirkwood Forest. And that's where I think that's where the Ents are. If you watch I think is it the Battle of Helm's Deep, where the tree men, I think they might be over here somewhere. You can actually recruit them in battles. I haven't actually ventured that far yet, but I do know that is an option if you actually play as the Sylvan Elves. So everything's good over here. Construction, can't really afford anything, to be honest. Free Peoples of Eriador. And I think we might actually... Let's check out the... That's still sitting on 15%. Vorn, it's good, it's good. I mean, we've got enough units in here. That's a village. Do know that the Orcs do come up this way. I mean, I should really put more units into Erinvorn and Alimir, but I can't really afford to right now. I need to keep on pressing the enemy. I think when Isengard do come up to attack, I'll just have to withdraw troops. But let's try and go as far as we can. Try and take as many settlements. So that's the Orcs of the Gundabad there, it's a village. Let's go and speak to the Orcs. It's got High Elves there. They've been neutral for 17 turns. That's a 4-star general. He looks pretty mean. He's got an orc face. He's pretty unhappy, looks like. His allies are Orcs of Misty Mountains, enemies, dwarves, Free Peoples of Eriador, and bandits. So I can't really make an alliance with these guys because all my allies are his enemies. So we're going to make a trade rights offer. Make offer there. He's happily accepted that. And we're going to get 500 gold coins from the council as well. So that was our result there. Let's move the diplomat round to the Mirkwood Forest. And we'll do the same again with the Sylvan Elves. Again, that's probably optimal for Rivendell. That army there, that's enough to defeat most advancing orc armies except the very best. Got the bows there. They can do a lot of damage to any advancing troops. There's a lot of bridges within the settlement that you can use to defend. Sword Quendi, 10 on attack, 14 defend, they're really good, and Elrond is an amazing unit in this game. So that's probably all that we need right there. I can build more if I see anything coming down. Actually, I might build a watchtower. Right here. And I'll move Elrond back actually. So that'll give me a bit of a heads up in case anything comes down. I can build an extra unit before an army comes down there. So we've got a large army in Argond. We're going to build the artist studio, and that's probably going to be pretty beneficial for the culture in the settlement. I'm kind of thinking about maybe moving the rest of the army over to attack Isengard. I don't think I've got enough here to adequately defend that settlement and take a settlement over here. Isengard is fairly powerful. I might wait to the next turn. Got another army coming down here. So I think once this army gets down here, I'm going to make a larger army, and then we're going to move on Isengard. So we're going to end this turn here. Don't really feel there's much more else we can do. We do have some units over here that were getting built before. There's a unit there. And let's move this guy around as well. Let's get moved around as well. And he'll get moved around on the next turn. But he seems to get trapped here quite a lot. If you try and move around troops from Forlond and they get stuck halfway between, they'll actually always go back. They can't go from turn to turn on top of water. I'm going to move Elrond back, and then I think we're going to probably just end the turn there. Not really much more we can do. We don't really have, we've only got 500 gold coins. We're going to end the turn. We're on turn number 18. And that's going to be the end of that turn. So we're going to be up to turn number 19 next. It's going to cycle through the factions, Isengard, Orcs and Misty Mountains, and there's that Orc army right there that's just came back. So that looks like it's that Snaga army, the Snaga archers. Again, that's another general possibly here. I think I'm going to decline this because it's going to cost another 500 gold coins, and then after that 500 again, and same per turn. So I probably can't really afford another general. Check out that unit there. That's so the Snaga army is actually being increased by 1. Could be a general. So I'm going to move Elrond back. He has done his job of getting a watchtower right there. Gives me that extra kind of range to see what's over beyond the Misty Mountains. We're going to move this army down. And we're also going to, that unit there, move him round into Elistarion. Move him around as well. That'll be, what, 2, 3, 4. So how long for this council mission? We get 5 turns to move 4 units into Elistarion, and what do we get? We get some military units. So that'll be quite handy to get actually. It takes the elves longer to recruit in 3rd Age Total War, and they're all okay. Let's move these guys over. I think that's going to be the end of that turn. Let's end the turn there. Again, not really much more we can do. Just got to gradually build up and move on the Orc settlements. I think most of the bandit settlements are actually taken. We just got to work on the Orc settlements. So now we've got a larger army coming down. We've got Goblin Infantry and the Warg Riders. So the Warg Riders are actually a fairly good defense, 5 on the attack. Bonus fine cavalry, effective against armor. So they're actually pretty good cavalry. And again, we've got Rivendell defended by 5 units. 5 regular units. And Elrond. So we're going to move these soldiers down here. I'd probably like to get a couple of watchtowers. Actually, I might do that right now. So let's build that right there. We're going to build another one over here, I think. Just so that I can see what's kind of coming over. I think that is that armies cannot cross this area. But they can cross there though, so let's build one. Let's build one right there. That's safe. So I would imagine these guys are going to probably join up and then try and attack Rivendell. But to take Rivendell with Elrond, you're going to need more than just a couple of goblins and warg riders. You're going to need some pretty elite armoured units. So we're going to send the troops into that settlement. Got that there, send him in. Put that one there. Send him round, and that'll be 4 in Elstarian, and we'll actually achieve the council's mission. So you've got 2,500 gold coins left. I'm going to build some more things, might as well. I'm going to build in Alimere. That's up to 23%. That's good. Erinvorn. I'd actually quite like to build the stables in Erinvorn actually. That'd be a good settlement because quite close to the border there, and it'd be good to have the cavalry just to speed things up a bit. Argond, what can we build? Yes, dirt roads, Aragorn. Or Argond rather. That's the best thing to build, and gonna go for the stables next probably. Mustering Hall. So there's quite a lot of things I want to build in Argond actually. So we're going to make sure Argon's well defended. I know that Isengard do actually come up this way, and that's one of their favourite targets actually, so it's a castle. If we can maybe upgrade the walls as well, that'd be even better. But right now we're going to go for the roads, which will increase the economy, and then we're going to go for probably the stables or the mustering hall. I think we're going to end the turn. Can't build anything there anyway, so we're going to end the turn. I would imagine the orcs are going to attack Imladris next. They'll probably join up and then attack, but we do have, I think, 5 units in Rivendell and Elrond. So even if they do try and attack, I don't really think they're going to get too far, to be honest. And this guy's actually 16 years old. A suitable husband, betrothed Arwen. Okay, let's accept him. He's in that settlement. So I think we really want to get this guy out and get him start putting in some watchtowers around this area. It does actually feel like they're kind of forming up for an attack. There's an Orcs army there, there's one there as well. That's an Orc general. It's called Nag Douche General. He's a 4-star general, fairly loyal, one respect. And let's move down this unit here. Or this army. And want to build the watchtower. Where is it? So I think that's the crossing right there. So that's another settlement we can actually get. I actually didn't know that was there. That's Isengard. So what we are going to do is we're going to attack that settlement. So they can actually get down there. Can they cross there? So the first crossing is actually there. So we have to move up this army, this general anyway. And okay, let's get these armies into Elstarian to get the gold coins for the council mission. And so even if I wanted to attack that settlement, which I do, you've got to go around here anyway. So we're going to join up these two armies. Argon is very heavily defended. We're going to build the dirt roads. And these two settlements are fairly well defended as well. So I think we're actually going to probably stop right there for this episode of Let's Play Third Age Total War. We've done a fair amount actually. We've got a good base here, a good economy, taking lots of settlements, and I've only played through parts of this campaign before. I don't know where all the settlements are. But I found a new settlement right there, and it looks like Isengard is going to start expanding and attacking settlements. So we're going to save that for another day. Again, thank you for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed the series so far. Stay tuned for more episodes in the future. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. This is Piper signing off.